Breaking news.
What's going on, guys? Your boy Red Pill Canuck back again with another YouTube live stream. Shout out to the Canuck squad for being involved and being active here on this YouTube channel. And again, we are simultaneously streaming on Twitch and YouTube. I apologize, there definitely was a hiccup. I don't know what the heck happened, so we're definitely going to start over again. We're going to start from scratch. We're going to forget the past 3 minutes ever happened. Wow, I don't know what happened. For some reason, the internet just decided to disappear. But we're back, guys. We're back. And yeah, so let's get back into the show here. So again, this is actually what happened about a month ago.
Just into the newsroom, President Biden making it official. He tweeted that he is forgiving some student loan debt. He says $10,000 in federal loans will be forgiven. However, if you went to college on Pell Grants, you'll have $20,000 forgiven. This applies to people earning less than $125,000. The student loan pause will also be extended one final time through the end of the year. The president expected to tell us more this afternoon. Of course, we'll bring that to you live right here on WCNC Charlotte.
So, of course, when people actually saw this, people were celebrating, people were rejoicing, people were like, oh, hell yeah, I don't have to pay nothing back. Woo! Shout out to us. Woo! But here's the thing. If you really look at the actual requirements, and again, this is for the U.S., but unfortunately, where history sees itself, every time the U.S. does something, Canada always has to follow. So the topic for today, obviously, is scrolling across our screen. Will the student loan forgiveness actually be a thing? Because President Biden came out and said, okay, this is what we're going to do. But he didn't get any sort of authorization from Congress. He just basically just dropped the bomb out of nowhere. Now, can this really be legal? Can a president actually go and do this? I really don't know. But apparently there's actually some implications now, because here's the funny thing. This actually came out. Of course, we got an ad here. So we're
finding the perfect restaurant.
We're gonna skip the ad. We're gonna do a little fair use to the ad here. Yeah, it's one of those ads, guys. Sorry. So here's the funny thing. This actually came out 2 days ago. By the way, fair use to Yahoo. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Well, turning now from one legal struggle to another, the Biden administration and Republicans headed for a potential legal battle over the president's executive action to cancel up to $20,000 of student loan debt for millions of Americans.
So I guess that pretty much answers my question. Can this really be done? I don't want to be a, I don't know, David Downer. I don't want to say Debbie Downer, but I don't want to be a David Downer. But I don't think it can. Because here's the thing. And obviously, if you can't afford to pay back your loan, not everybody has that ability. But the question remains, if you couldn't pay it back, then why the heck did you take the loan in the first place?
Bruh.
That's what a lot of people are asking. So when this news broke about, okay, everybody's going to get student loan forgiveness, and I'm saying everybody because if you pretty much look at the requirement here, you have to make less than $125,000. Their majority, or I don't want to say majority, but a large chunk of the U.S. population is actually making under this amount. So you're pretty much granting loan forgiveness for almost majority of your population. Now, again, I'm not a financial advisor, so whatever I'm saying, you could pretty much take it with a grain of salt. This is just my personal opinion, and this is all alleged. But the way I see it, I don't really think this is even possible to go through, because based on what I know about politics and whatnot, again, I'm not an expert with U.S. politics, but you have to go to Congress in order to do something like this. You can't just basically drop an executive order just because you're president and things are not going your way. Because if you actually look at Biden's his popularity right now, his popularity has tanked lower than the Titanic. So all y'all that ran and go and voted for Biden and said orange man hair bad just because of a few tweets, what have you really gained from voting for President Biden? Now, I'm trying not to bring political here, but you had higher gas prices. You haven't had any sort of upturn in your economy. But, again, I'm not an expert. But this here seems to me to just be a kind of a Hail Mary throw at the bottom of the fourth quarter in order to get some sort of popularity. Can it actually be done? I really don't know. And it actually stated here in the video. Let's continue with the video.
Let's bring in Yahoo Finance's Alexis Keenan, who's following this story for us. How are the battle lines being drawn right now?
So it's a little premature right now, and that's because nothing's happened yet, right? Those applications from the administration have not yet gone out so that student loan borrowers, debtors can actually apply. So that's what's in the legal world called standing. You have to actually have harm done to you in order to bring a suit that says you've been harmed. So we'll see what happens here. Now,
And by the way, not to interrupt this individual here, but she is right. So you have to actually have some sort of harm in order to have a remedy. Not being able to pay your bills is not really harm. That is your basic responsibility. So I understand we're in a recession stage, inflation is going through the roof and whatnot, but does that really deem as harm? Or that's deemed called life? Like, seriously. Anyway, let's continue.
There are different groups that are not happy with this action or purported action by the administration. One is Republican state's attorney general. Another are some fiscally conservative advocacy groups, also some lawmakers, but they're not all on the GOP side. There's also Democrats who are skeptical of this move. You have Senator Nancy Pelosi saying that she's not sure if the Biden administration has the power to flat out cancel debt, that maybe he can postpone debtors' responsibility for paying. Might be.
By the way, just for the record, the Biden administration has been delaying repayment of every kind for over a year now. And I'm talking about the eviction moratorium, so a lot of people have been having a sigh of relief. Unless you're a landlord. So there's been a lot of grace that has been given by this administration. That being said, can he really cancel the debt or just give a delay? That's basically what it comes down to right now. And I think that's pretty much the way it's going to stand. And my personal opinion, my unbiased, unprofessional opinion, again, this is not my area of expertise, nor is in my country. But then again, like I said, whatever affects the U.S. always affects Canada as well. I really don't think this can be done. And I think, unfortunately, I think President Biden spoke prematurely and should have ran this by the administration first before he said anything. Continuing.
Be able to put some delays in place, but she's not sure if that more broad effort is okay under the law. So that's something, though, that has been broadly addressed this year, in fact, by the U.S. Supreme Court. We had a number of cases come down that looked at this type of executive action and really curbed how far an administration can go to unilaterally do these types of things without Congress saying that it's okay. So I've been talking with legal experts about, okay, who actually would have the power to bring these lawsuits if the applications do go out? Also, what arguments would they make? And also, could the suit or potential suits block the debt relief from being given? So there might be a very short window there if these potential legal challengers say that they want there to be a stay put in place while the courts figure it out. So one of the grounds could be, and these could be brought, they say, by banks, if banks are expected to assume some of this debt, also states and also individuals, right? Just the person who has student loan debt is carrying it and can't get it forgiven. You can see the inequity argument there. So one of the grounds that could be, they say, these legal experts, is that the administration has exceeded its authority, right? That we were talking about, Congress would have to actually authorize it. Another is that the national emergency on which it's based, which is COVID-19, is over. So that's in large debate right now, whether COVID.
By the way, I don't know if you guys have been watching the news, but apparently President Biden came out and said yesterday that the pandemic is over. Oh boy, this is such a mess. This is such a mess. So y'all that were celebrating, you celebrated a little too soon. Did I see this coming? Yes, I did. And I actually, when this happened, I'm like, nah, this is not going to go through. Because how is it even possible that you're going to make taxpayers, because at the end of the day, people, they tend not to realize that this whole student loan forgiveness, the people who are going to be paying for it are the taxpayers themselves. So y'all think the government can just make money. And for the record, nothing from the government is free. You heard it here, probably not heard it here first, but you're hearing it here yet again, for sure. Nothing from the government is free, because y'all talking about your stimulus check in the States, and y'all waited home with your face condoms on, waiting for your stimulus check, while you listened to what the government said and stayed home. You were celebrating when you got your check. Some people actually went to Walmart and bought flat screen TVs and refurnished their houses, thinking it was free money. But since that stimmies check came out, because you guys got a few of them, what have we seen? We've seen food prices go up. We've seen gas go up. We've seen pretty much, even Starbucks, for God's sake, has gone up in price. And who do they blame? They blame the supply chain? No. Definitely was not the supply chain. And you know what the funny thing is? If you really look at it, again, this is allegedly, whatever y'all got from the government, they got it back tenfold. Yep. So they basically bought your all's approval and took the money back. Yep. And this, if this goes through the way I see it, it's going to be that yet again. They're going to forgive it. They may forgive it. It's a possibility. I think it's a 50-50 chance. But again, if it does go through, the government is going to make the money back again. Tenfold. Yep. They're definitely going to make it tenfold, and y'all going to be sitting there celebrating that we got free money, but y'all paying through the other end. Yep. So let's continue.
COVID-19 is still, in fact, a national emergency. Can you go back and retroactively take this action?
Replay Biden's soundbite.
Right. So, look, there are arguments that are going to come. The law that the Biden administration is using in order to make this action, it comes from a 2003 act called the HEROES Act. And what it was meant to do was give some student loan relief to the military families that were fighting two wars at that time, both in Afghanistan and Iraq. So this is definitely a move to go deeper into that law and use it to give this kind of relief. So we'll be watching. We will let you know if an action does come down.
Wow.
Bruh.
Oh boy. So this originally, and I just learned something because I'm not into American history too much. So this actually stems from the HEROES Act, and you heard it here, where people, men and women, putting their lives on the line, fighting abroad for y'all's freedoms, would get this sort of relief. Not y'all sitting watching Jerry Springer just because you see a CDI DeVry college commercial and think you could become a medical technician in 7 months. Y'all think you're eligible for that too. Now, I'm not ragging on anybody's career or anybody's education or anything like that. The way I see it, I think fair should be fair. And I have her smiling here. I really don't know why. But, so this actually was originally came up here. Let's get rid of that. This is what originally came up. And this actually came up 2 days ago. Biden cancels $10K in student loan debt. Here's who gets it. Individuals must earn less than sorry, can't even talk. Individuals must earn less than $125K in the previous tax year. Married couples filing jointly less than $250K. So it's the same requirements as it was from the beginning. Let's continue. After months of rumor and speculation, President Joe Biden announced that details of the broad vision for student loan debt repayment and debt cancellation on August 24th. Though the executive order, federal student loan borrowers who met income requirements will see up to $10,000 in debt canceled. If the borrower received a Pell Grant, I don't know what a Pell Grant is. If we click, can we actually see what a Pell Grant is, or am I gonna? Okay, so a Pell Grant is so basically it's for low-income individuals. So it's kind of like a bursary that we have here in Canada. So let me go back here. So the ones who actually got the Pell Grant will be forgiven $20,000. And check this out, guys. About 43 million Americans have federal student loan debt. The White House says the plan cancels the full remaining balances for the 20 million of them. Wow. Income requirements block relief for high-income households. Individuals must have earned less than $125,000 a year in the previous tax year, while married couples is $250K. Okay. About 95% of borrowers will benefit from the cancellation. Biden said in a speech Wednesday, and 90% of the benefits canceled will go to the borrowers who earn less than $75,000, the White House said. Interesting. There's a lot more to be done, and tens of thousands still have student loans, but the estimated 20 million who will be debt-free, it will be life-changing, says Mike Pence, founder of the student loan, or Mike Pierce. Nope, not that Mike Pence, sorry. Mike Pierce. Executive Director and co-founder of Student Borrowers Protection Center, a nonprofit advocacy organization. It shows when people with student loans demand better and the government listens to them, and that's a good thing. But here's the thing, guys. And again, if you guys end up getting your debts canceled, more power to you. I'm not hating on you. But what are you going to... Here's the question that I have. And you can let me know in the comments below about this. For the people that actually are going to have this debt collection and do have their debt erased, what are you going to do after? Are you going to go back to school again and get another debt? Anyway, there's a TikTok here. Let's listen to the TikTok, see what this individual has to say.
I've been waiting 2 years to report on this. The student debt cancellation announcement has finally arrived. Here's what you need to know about what happens next. Cancellation offers $20,000 in forgiveness for any borrower who once received a Pell Grant to go to college. There's also $10,000 for all federal student loan borrowers who never received a Pell Grant. The White House estimates 95% of federal student loan borrowers will qualify for some amount of the forgiveness. But to get any of the relief, you're going to have to meet income requirements. That means as an individual, you need to earn under $125,000 a year, or if you're a couple who files their taxes jointly, you need to earn under $250,000 per year. Only loans taken out before June 30th, 2022 are going to be eligible for forgiveness. Here's what else you need to meet in order to be eligible. And just a reminder, private loans do not count. Now for the good stuff, how you actually get it. Well, for about 8 million borrowers where the department actually has your income information on file, you'll get relief automatically. For everyone else, there's going to be some kind of an application process. There should be an application available by the end of 2022 before the new student loan payment pause expires. Borrowers are going to need to just sit and wait. Annoying advice, I know, but until more information is available, there's not much else that you can do.
Wow. Honestly, I really don't know how this is going to work out. And if it's, again, if you end up getting this, more power to you. But my advice to you is please, for the love of Cheest, or whoever you pray to, or you worship, please don't make the same mistake again and fall into the same hole, because I guarantee you're not going to get a second chance to pull yourself out. Anyway, let's continue. The Biden administration also announced that 7th extension of payment for forbearance. Borrowers with a federal student loan have not been required to make payments since March of 2020. Oh boy. If the forbearance isn't extended past December 31st, borrowers will have gone 33 months without payment. Oh my God. Wow. Now the question is though, okay, yeah, there has been no payment, but are these people getting charged interest? That's the question. I don't think they are, actually. Lastly, the Education Department proposed new income-driven repayment plan that would reduce future payments and limit the growth of balances if payments are current. What we need to know and don't know so far. Who this will most benefit? I could tell you who most is going to benefit. It's going to benefit the people that actually took the loans. The people that are going to have to pay it back are going to get, or who did pay it back, are going to be pretty much screwed. And actually, one person, and I forgot, I wish I had the video clip for this, but one person ended up asking, okay, I paid my loan back like I was supposed to. Am I going to get a refund? No, sir, you're not going to get a refund. So, whom will this cancellation benefit? Roughly 15.2 million borrowers have debt under $10,000 according to the federal data, okay? And 1.3 million of those borrowers have been on a repayment plan for longer than 20 years? According to a 2021 April data request. Wow! Wow. I really don't know what to say. The impact of the $20,000 in forgiveness for the pen recipients is hard to gauge because the income requirements borrowers must meet to be eligible. However, the White House estimates 60% of borrowers receive this aid. Pent grants are available to low-income students, with the White House says that the majority of the students in the Pent grant come from families with incomes well under $60,000 per year. These borrowers tend to have higher debts than non-Pent recipients, $4,500 more than the average, according to a study of non-borrower. Okay, wow. Whew. This is very interesting. How can I apply for the forgiveness program? Both $10,000 and $20,000 forgiveness amounts are means tested, but department, okay. You guys can actually look this up on your own. This actually is on their government website as well. So, and actually, it clearly says here, and actually the individual said in the video as well. So as long as your loan was before June the 30th, 2022, you'll be eligible. Wow. This is, yeah, I don't know how this is going to work for the average taxpayer. And, okay, so this was actually about, this is actually pretty similar. But, yeah, this is quite interesting. The only thing is, though, is, again, hopefully y'all who get this relief are smart enough not to fall into the same trap by getting useless degrees. And actually, there was a study that was done, and I wish I saw it a few months ago, but I wasn't able to pull it back up. But they were saying that close to 70% of the people who actually are in student loan debt have useless degrees. And the way I mean useless degrees is, for example, you graduate in history. If you're not going to be a teacher, then why the heck are you graduating history? Or liberal arts? Or any of these other degrees that you're never going to use anywhere? That being said, there actually is a video I want to play for you, and we're gonna take a visit with Mr. Dave Ramsey. Just give me 1 second. Let me pull this up here. Where's my Dave Ramsey video? Did I lose my Dave Ramsey video? Oh, there it is. Let's see if I can actually drag this over here. Give me 1 second, guys. So obviously we cannot play the audio. We cannot play the video, but we're going to play the audio like we usually do. And you get to look at Dave while I'm playing it. By the way, shout out to Dave Ramsey. So we just have an ad here. We're going to try to see if we can actually skip over the ad. When the computer restarted, it kind of messed up all my links, so I literally had to reload it again. By the way, thank you for everybody who came back to the stream. I don't know what happened. We had a little bit of a minor glitch. Okay, so we're gonna go right here, and we're gonna go here. So we're gonna play the audio. By the way, Dave, we're gonna have to invoke our fair use, obviously, because that's what we do here. And where's my fair use? Where my fair use at? There we go. And of course, we gotta invoke our fair use. Experts or copyrighted material under circumstance may be quoted verbatim for the purposes of criticism, use, reporting, teaching, and research without permission from the or payment from the copyright holder. Dave, we're trying to teach people here not to make idiot mistakes. So, fair use, fair use, fair use, and fair use. So, this caller actually called in, and apparently they have a student loan debt with a tuba degree. And we're talking about $280,000.
Bruh.
Yeah. $280,000 for a tuba degree. I don't even know that's possible. Like, for real. How is that really possible? But of course, I seen worse. But let's get into the call here. Again, fair use, fair use, fair use.
Amy's with us in Rhode Island. Hi, Amy. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you. I'm excited to talk to you.
You too. How can I help?
I have a son who's 18 years old. He is a classical musician. He plays symphonic tuba. He has a gift. He has a passion, and he puts forth extraordinary effort. He is at a private music school. He's a freshman. All the private music schools are about $70,000. He received $25,000 in scholarships. For each of the 4 years he'll be going to this school. Unfortunately, that doesn't cover it. He took out a $38,000 loan, which is...
Now, guys, to be fair, I have nothing against classical music, instruments. Like, me personally, I actually can play the trombone, saxophone, and trumpet. So basically the brass instruments. Tuba, I wasn't really strong enough to lift that heavy ass thing. So yeah, tuba, I wasn't really too keen on that. But again, I have nothing against classical music at all. So before you guys jump down my throat, I have nothing against it. But I learned all that stuff in elementary school. There's no way in heck I'm going to spend $280,000 on a tuba degree. And take a $38,000 loan. Oh boy. Continuing.
Scary, but I don't know how to encourage him going forward. I don't see how he can do that for 4 years. Then the kicker is my parents are everyday millionaires, and they keep telling me to let him take out the loans because eventually I will inherit money and be able to help him pay them off.
Okay, well, we have a new player in the field. Wow, okay. So her parents are loaded. Wow, okay. So, but here's the thing. Just because you're loaded doesn't mean you're going to go and waste money. Now, yes, I know I'm being very harsh here, but I've known people who went to these certain private schools to like Juilliard, for instance, or went to certain music schools. I know somebody who actually went to a audio engineering school, a private school again, and they will fill your head full of dreams and pixie dust. And they'll tell you that your kid is gifted just so you can pay the money. But here's the problem. Even though you graduate, and technically at this price, it's like you're buying the diploma. Just because you pass this program, you get your degree, does not mean you're going to get anywhere. So those 4 years, you pretty much washed it down the drain. Now, I'm not trying to be a dream crusher or crush anybody's self-esteem or whatnot. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to be a realist here. I've seen a lot of people who went down this road full of ambition in their first semester, full of hope, ambition, and the bright twinkle in their eye. And by the second year, they're pretty much crushed. Because not only is it expensive and it's very tiresome, it is extremely competitive. And with that price tag, can you even understand why? Continuing.
So I don't know. It doesn't sound like a good idea, but I don't see how he's going to be able to
Let
fulfill
me
his.
slow down just a second.
Okay.
You said $70,000 a year.
That's with room and board, yes.
Okay. And so, for 4 years, we're going to have $280,000 invested to be a gifted tuba player.
I know. I don't see. I mean,
Where
maybe
does this?
he'll-
Where do you make? I don't know enough about the music world. The only thing I can think of is an orchestra position. I don't know any soloist tubas that have ever sold millions of records.
I hate to say it, I agree with Dave here. Yes, you can go and be the best tuba player in the Western Hemisphere. But are you ever going to make that money back? Well, of course her parents are millionaires, but still. Why would you... Okay, I don't want to say throw away the money because I don't want to be mean again. Again, I'm not trying to crush anybody's dream here. I'm just trying to speak reality, and I'm glad Dave is also on the same page. Hopefully. Because I know his friend Mr. John Deloney always leads me down that road. And then pushes me in a ditch. Let's continue.
Off the top of my head, as a consumer, I don't know of that.
Right.
And
so he would like to play in a symphony orchestra. He
So
will
how
not
do-
make
how do-
back
yeah,
that money.
Like he'll make like $40,000 a year,
Right.
unless he's in the Boston Philharmonic or something.
Even then. But
Yeah.
I don't understand. He can't get the training he needs at a private school. At a public school.
My point is though that the training's not worth it.
So what do I tell him, to change dreams?
I would live my dream a different way because this dream is quickly becoming what's known as a nightmare.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I hate to say it, I have to give the mom the buzzer. Because I understand, as a parent, I understand. You don't want to demotivate your child, especially if this is something that they want to do. But sometimes you got to face reality. Not everything that seems like a good idea is a good idea. Hell, I wanted to be an elf when I was a kid. And I'm pretty sure a lot of kids out there want to be an astronaut or a fireman or a cowboy or any sort of thing. Now, obviously, parents will support them until they grow out of it and, you know, come up with a more realistic dream. But I agree with Dave here. He is never going to make that $280,000 back. Even if he goes to the Boston Philharmonic, which actually is the most prestigious platform in probably the world. Again, I'm not a music professional, but he's never going to make that money back. They're basically flushing that money down the toilet, and I'm being very, very realistic here. But let's continue.
Yeah.
You're going to have a guy making $35,000 a year that has spent $280,000 and $200,000 in debt waiting on his grandparents to die to get him out of this.
Which sounds terrible.
It is awful. It's a horrible use of your family's legacy and your family's money. And it's not to say that the young man isn't gifted. I'm not putting down tuba players, and I'm not putting down his gift. I'm just trying to be wise in loving my son well and not usher him into a bear trap that tears his leg off.
Yeah.
And all in the name of a dream.
Right.
Because he's gifted. And I don't doubt that he's gifted. But me and him, if he's mine, we're about to have a come to Jesus meeting, and that's going to sound like, I love you so much, I will not participate in things that harm you.
I'm a loss for words, honestly. Because on one end, you're disappointing the child. Okay, and I'm trying to be as nice as possible here. And I am agreeing with Dave here. I really don't know what to say, honestly. Like, why would you spend that much money to be a tuba player? Like, really? Like, there has to, okay, if you're that gifted, there has to be other ways. There's other, unless you want to go for the top of the top. And I do agree with him what it says, and as grueling as it sounds, do you really want your grandparents' legacy, the money that they nested and saved and basically sacrificed, to be wasted on a dream that's gonna probably, like I'm gonna quote Dave here, that's gonna be your actual nightmare?
Bruh.
Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. He's never gonna get this money back, and even though, yeah, he's gonna end up paying. I honestly, if my kid was to come and tell me this, I don't think I would be as supportive. I would say, no, you're gonna wake up, and you're gonna be more realistic. If you want to go and do something like that, use your own money, not my parents' money. And if I was to ever have kids, I would do the same thing. And that's what the problem is with society. And the reason why I pulled up this video is because the people that were championing and celebrating this whole cancellation of this student loan debt were these sort of people here. The people who basically wasted the 4 years, have all these useless degrees. That's not going to get you anywhere. Now, I get it. I went to school. A lot of us went to school to better ourselves. We worked hard. We spent the time. So that way we can have a better life. But a lot of these courses and a lot of these degrees don't lead to anywhere. Now, I'm not blaming the students 100%. I'm blaming society on this one. The society that basically goes out and says, you can be whatever you want. Instead of leading him to something that is going to be like, why do you have courses like, well, what was one course? Okay. Now, I'm not going to rag on the musical thing because obviously there are gifted schools. I'm not going to rag on them, so I'm going to give them a break. I'm talking about, I don't know, human studies. You know there's actually a course for that? Human studies. Studying humans. If you sat on a park bench every day for 4 years, do you know you would probably learn more about humans than you would at any sort of school? Basically what human study is the interaction between humans and other humans. What makes people tick? What makes them do what they do? I believe there's a psychological aspect to it. I get it. There's theories. There's philosophy. There's all this stuff. I get it. But when the heck are you going to use that, put on your resume, and use it anywhere in life? And how do I know this? Because I know somebody who took this. I know someone who took this, graduated, and they're working at Starbucks. Because they can't find no job. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to go back to the vicious cycle and go back to school again. Now, a lot of you guys don't realize that school is a business. We were taught that you go to school, you get a good education, it will lead you to a good job. Decades ago, that may have applied. It doesn't apply now. It doesn't apply anymore. And I hate to burst anybody's bubble, but the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, actually called school a scam. Not because you don't learn anything. You do learn something. But the problem is the job requirements change very frequently. I'll give you an example. Say if you take psychology, a lot of the requirements is you need your bachelor's, for instance. So you go to school for 4 years, you work hard, you graduate with honors, and you get your degree. By the time you get your damn degree, you now need a master's. So the requirements keep on getting more and more difficult, which turns schools into a revolving door. School and the concept of going to school nowadays is not like it used to be. Or it was always this way, but we never seen it for what it actually was. Now it's actually in the forefront and we see everything. It's a business, guys. And the winners are the banks, or the schools that gives you the loan, debt collectors, the schools themselves, and the only loser is the student, who's just trying to better themselves and this is what they get. Now, don't get me wrong. The student doesn't get off easy either. Because at the end of the day, You made that decision to go to school. You made that decision to take that loan. But there should have been somebody there. Now let it be the school for having those some useless courses that kind of sucker you in. Or parents who said, "It's okay, honey. I'll support you. Go take that liberal arts degree. Or go take human studies." Knowing ain't gonna lead anywhere. And then 4 years later, they go back to school again. And then take another loan, and another loan, and another loan. Then you end up with, I've heard people have $500,000 in debt. And they've been paying off for 20 years. And they're still not paid off yet. Because they keep on going to school. They keep on that revolving door. People used to say jails were a revolving door. The penal system, was a revolving door. It looks like schools are the same thing. But anyway, let's get back into this call here. I know I've been ranting a little bit, but obviously it just kind of riles me up where people, they make the stupidest decisions. And again, we're all human. We all make mistakes. But the problem is, and this is what my concern is, y'all gonna be bailed out. This loan's gonna be canceled. You're gonna have a clean slate. But I guarantee most of y'all are gonna go back into the same cycle and do it again. And you want to know something interesting? How do you know if you go take a loan again, they're going to raise those interest rates in order to compensate for the money that they erased? That's a little food for thought. Anyway, continuing with the Ramsey call.
And we need to take, I'll help you, I'll coach you, I'm your biggest cheerleader, I'm your biggest fan of your giftedness and of your musical ability and your instrument of choice. I'm your biggest fan, I'm your mom, nobody loves you more than that. And it's like it's federal law, we're required to love you even when you're dumb, and you're not being dumb, you're brilliant.
Oh my god. I love how he says dumb and then corrects himself. Oh. You gotta love Dave, man. You gotta love Dave. Anyway, continuing.
But I want to walk with you and help you. And, honey, what we're doing here together, and I'm standing on the sidelines watching a car wreck with my son in the car, I don't want to participate in this. I don't want you to do this. I want to find some other way for you to live out your giftings with and your passions in the music world, and in a way that becomes that doesn't trap you. Can you imagine who he's going to be when he's 42 and your parents are still alive?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's
all
what,
right.
The
well,
42-year-old version of him is going to hate you guys.
Yeah.
For not stopping this train wreck.
That was a beautiful way now that I have of presenting this, and that's what I called for because I knew the answer. But thank you for helping me put it into words for him.
Well, it's all about helping. It's all about loving somebody. It's not just trashing them.
Right.
But if he knows something that I don't know, or you know something I don't know, I'm willing to learn. Just as sitting outside the music business, I'm in talk radio for a reason. I can't even carry a tune. I don't even know anything about it. So. But, I've observed the music business in Nashville for years, and I know what the percentages are of making a living, much less making it big.
Right.
And that's with people that play instruments and genres of music that are more widespread through the public and actually monetize.
Right.
But even then, the joke around Nashville is how do you get the next country music star's attention? Waiter.
Yeah.
You know, everybody in this town can play and yodel, you know?
Yeah.
And yet a whole bunch of them never get to. The number of people that were on American Idol that now work on my team will blow your mind. You know, and so it's a very difficult world, the show business world, to start with, and then you take a nuanced slice of that, a small slice of that, and I fear for this young man's future. And I'm like you, I love him. I want him to do good. Hey, thanks for the call.
And you know what? To be fair, I love the way Dave handled it, so I'm going to give him a round of applause for this one. Because, again, you don't want to demotivate somebody, but if to love somebody is to prevent them from making a mistake. If you see somebody that you care about, they're driving on a road, and you know that a mile down that road, there's no road. There's an accident. The bridge is out. You don't want them to fall into that hole. You don't want them to get injured. You don't want them to get hurt. So you warn them. So I'm pretty sure, and I'm glad this, you know what? I'm glad this mom, round of applause for her as well. She knew exactly what the answer was. So she definitely has a good head on her shoulder, so I will give her that. She just needed to know how to word it. And a lot of times, it's hard to tell kids, okay, you're being an idiot, you're being stupid. Okay, I don't want to say that. Let me reword it. Basically, that they're making a mistake. Yes, it's something that they want to do, but it ain't going to lead anywhere. And at the end of the day, we all have one life. Obviously, we want to make it our best life. And we all want to do what makes us happy. But at the end of the day, when you're going to school and you're there to have a career that's going to last you at least 20, 25 years until you retire, or 30 years, depending on how old you are, or when you plan to retire. So you want something that's going to be able to sustain you. Being a tuber, and again, I am the same boat that Dave is in. I don't know much about the music business. I just know it's a unforgiving beast, as they call it. Even with the friend of mine who actually was doing audio engineering, he ended up getting a grant as well, and I think this was like about 10 years ago. His course was about $20,000, about 10. Actually, no, I think it's been longer than. I think it was like maybe close to 15 years. My God, wow. Time goes. Whoo! Wow. I didn't realize it was that long, but yeah, $20,000 that time, and I don't even know if he ever made anything of it because we kind of lost touch. But yeah, it is a unforgiving beast, and the problem is with a lot of these private schools. And I'm not going a little off topic here, but bear with me. It's getting somewhere. A lot of these private schools, they will tell you anything, so that way you can stay that next semester and finish your degree or diploma or whatever you're getting, because obviously they get more money out of you. What you do with that diploma, it ain't their problem. There's no guarantee. They're just there to make a buck. And that's why a lot of these private schools have their own bursaries or scholarships, because they want to give that incentive for you to go to school with them. And I've heard this from going on with a lot of schools, which allows them to rope you in. And obviously, a lot of times it does work, because if that wasn't the case, then how are we in this position here? How are we in this position where so much Americans, and I'm talking about not only Americans, Canadians here as well, actually probably worldwide, how is there so much money owed by these young individuals? Could it be that they were led wrong? Could it be that they weren't given that pep talk before they decided what they want to do? Or maybe they weren't given that proper pep talk when they were kids, and they said, I want to be a fireman or a cowboy or whatever. And we just laughed. Parents just laughed it off and just figured they're going to grow out of it. A lot of times, if you don't teach these kids when they're young what the right thing to do, this is what you end up with. And the lack of responsibility as well. Like a lot of these people that were celebrating this do not realize that just because they're giving you money back one way, they don't realize that they're going to be taking that money back the other way. And they have. They have. We've seen it with stimulus checks and PPP loans and CERB here in Canada. The government gives it with one hand and takes it with another. Sad to say, sad to say. But let's finish up this call here. I think actually this call is finished.
You know, that's a really good discussion right there, y'all. And that mom, if she follows through on this, is being a great mom. And it's going to be awkward. It's going to be hard. But the times that I've been a great dad, they were awkward times. The times that I've been a great Papa Dave, Grandpa. Yeah, those were awkward. Yeah, we got getting ready to be number 6 and under, the grandbabies. You don't think they don't have some interesting discussions with Papa Dave when they're running around screaming in my house like a bunch of pterodactyls? You know, it's like, gee, man, were you raised to go outside if you're gonna, you know? So, but you know, you just, it's part of parenting. It's part of grandparenting. It's part of good relationships. Is being kind enough to have the courage to say things out loud that everyone else is thinking. And so if your child has a path that is their dream, but it's going to lead them into a financial nightmare, then it's really not a dream. It's a series of bad decisions is what it is.
He is absolutely right. He's absolutely right. And again, it's not an easy discussion you want to have with your kid. You don't want to be a dream crusher or demotivate them at all. But if you don't, you could end up one of these. That's the problem. Anyway, guys, this was actually a very interesting topic. I just figure I covered it, and I do apologize for the hiccup at the beginning of the stream. Yeah, we're going to give them the buzzer. But yeah, this is going to be this is going to be an ongoing thing. We are going to be having Money Mondays going forward. If it's going to be on a stream format or if it's going to be on a video format, I haven't decided that yet. But I felt that this is one thing I wanted to actually get across to y'all because we started a new school year here. Well, we started about a month ago. We're almost in October. Oh boy. Jeez, I didn't realize it. But yeah, that being said, we all gotta make smart choices now. If this does actually go through, just consider it a godsend. But at the back of your head, you really gotta wonder, how the heck are they gonna get this money back? And I'm telling you, it's not gonna be through tax-paying dollars. It could be something else. Maybe they're going to raise taxes. You never know. You just never know with the government. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today. Thanks for everybody watching on Twitch and on YouTube. Again, we were simulcasting. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. And if you wanted to contribute to the stream, likes are free. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next one. Later. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you smash that like button. And to check out our more recent uploads, check here on the top left. And to check out our playlist, check here on the top right. And make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And also check out our Quick Hits channel, which is also located down below. for our more bite-sizable content. I'll see you guys in the next video.